A few months ago, Sublime reached out to me and asked if I would try their app. And I was happy to check it out. But honestly, I didn't think I needed another idea collection app. And then I started using it. And I realized there was a gap in my personal knowledge management system, in my tool belt, right, that Sublime could actually fill. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of my all-time favorite features of Sublime and also show you why this app is so unique. And you should stick around because towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you how putting one idea, just one, into this app sparked new ideas for an atomic essay that I was working on. And it also led me to a new book that I'm excited to read. So Sublime is not an all-in-one tool to manage projects, to take notes, to manage your clients in a CRM and collect ideas, right? It's not that. It does a few things very well, which are knowledge collection and connection. It's the only tool where you can add just one idea and immediately discover 100 more. And I feel like it's one of the first collaborative PKM tools that I've seen, and not in a way of like, let's all work on this doc, or let's all work on this note, or I can send this note to 800 people and they can all see it and edit it or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'll get into the collaborative aspect in a little bit, but it is very unique in the way that you collaborate. And one of the big things that I really like about Sublime is that it is creation focused. It's designed to turn collected knowledge into tangible output. And this is something that I personally have been thinking about since the beginning of this year, 2025. I've saved and even connected a lot of ideas, and the Notes app that I was using allowed me to do that very easily. But I was not actually producing my own ideas, right? I was not crystallizing and connecting and then also sharing ideas. And so I think Sublime is one of those apps that is the way they help you collect and connect ideas. It'll help you actually produce as well. Now, this video will mainly be showing the desktop app, which is what we're looking at right now. But there is an iOS app, okay? And it's very good as well. It's very easy to collect ideas. Maybe in a future video, I'll show the iOS app. I'm not sure. But you'll get a good idea here of what the Sublime app can do. It also has some Chrome and Safari and Firefox extensions as well, which we'll talk about in this video. So let's talk about the look and feel of Sublime. Right off the bat, you can see that it's very simple. Aesthetically, it is simple, which I like. It's awesome. It's whimsical. The icons that they use and all the icons that they use communicates that very well. It's like if Curiosity had a look, Sublime would be it. And if you notice, ideas are presented one at a time. It's less like a filing cabinet and more like an artist studio that has just a bunch of different stuff in a list like this. You can add all kinds of things. So on the left hand side, we do have the sidebar here, and it's sticky. It scrolls, or it stays with you as you scroll. So you have easy access to all this. Right now I'm looking at all cards. That's the screen that I'm on. The collection screen is the way that Sublime groups ideas. We'll get into that. Canvas is a whiteboarding feature that you can use to visually connect and think about ideas. Then you have your pinned things right here. You can pin collections, you can pin just ideas, I think, as well. And then imports. You can import Kindle and Readwise. I didn't really know what this was. I knew it was the Sublime logo. I think it is. And so, but I hover over it and it shows Explore, but I'm still like, I don't know what that means. So I can click into it, but it wasn't immediately clear what that was by just hovering over it or looking at it. But this area right here in the app, it defaults to staff picks right here, which are ideas that are saved by staff at Sublime. But you can click into the search box and ask for anything. I can talk about, let's see, learning, whoops, oh my gosh, learning from trees. So this is everybody else's ideas who are using Sublime and have saved ideas to their Sublime library. I can see those right here. So the Explore screen, it does that. It allows you to explore ideas. Hey, before I continue on, I wanted to let you know about my free note-making guide. The video that you're watching now is a result of me following this process and these methods. If you follow what's in this guide, you'll never have to worry about getting stuck creatively. You'll have a flowing river of unique ideas for the projects that you're working on. You'll discover sticky analogies that will spice up your ideas, and then you'll create a rhythm to slow down. How many of us need to slow down? I know I need to slow down. And you'll have a rhythm to think deeply more often. So if you're interested in any of that, click the link in the description below. All right, let's keep going. I can just see, if I want to see just what's in my library, I can filter by that. And then there's a cool little shuffle feature that we're going to talk about here in a second. Sometimes it shows the back button when you go into another screen, and this screen does not have that. So at first I didn't know how to get out of this, but you just need to click the home button to change the screen back to your library. The next thing I want to talk about are cards. Cards are all these little guys that you see right here. They're the building blocks of Sublime. Everything is saved as a card, which includes books, articles, random ideas that you have, images. So I have some images in here that I've saved. I've saved some books. You can see that here. And I mentioned that it's a collaborative app, but it doesn't have to be, which is the cool thing, right? You can set cards to be private by default, but I think when you first log into the app, everything that you save is public, meaning other people can search and actually see what you've saved to your library. But you don't have to. I think in settings here, let's see, settings, under privacy, yeah, when saving a card, default to, and then for me, I have it private. So if you are wanting to keep it private, but then later on you save an idea and you're like, hey, I actually want to make this public, you can easily change that to public within each card. And of course, you can change it back to public if you want to for all cards. All right, so I mentioned before you can import Kindle and Readwise. I've imported my Readwise into Sublime, so all the quotes and stuff from Readwise that I've highlighted and everything is in here, which is nice. And the benefit here is actually seeing all highlights together, where it will show you related ideas between books, which is cool, right? So if I click into The Road Back to You, right now I can see related books to this book, but I can click on highlights, and now it's showing me highlights, my personal highlights on this book. And once I click into one of these, this is a highlight. If I click into that, now this is going to be the very top right here. And now it's going to show me related ideas from the same book, but also from different books. All right, so let's talk about like what it looks like to actually save ideas in Sublime. You can use the extension, which is again available on Chrome and Safari and Firefox. And actually it's available on Brave too. I'm using Brave right now. So I'm on another article right now, and I can save this entire article by clicking this Sublime icon, and it gives me a nice thumbnail, link, and all that kind of stuff. I can add notes if I want to. I can add a collection. I'll just add it to the World is Your Thought Garden. and I can add it to another collection. All that's there. I can remove collections. I can add it to my favorites. I'll move myself out of the way for a second. I can mark it as private, and then finally I can add it to my library. So when I click when I use the extension, I have a lot of different ways. I can just simply save it to my library and do all this later, or if I want to do it in the moment, I can do that now. And what's cool, I think, is you can see related ideas to this article. So let me click this real quick. All right. So I think these are articles that are related to this article. So I just click the related cards little icon, which again is right here, this little wand thing. And it's showing me now related articles and how many saves. I think that's what it's showing right there. Oh, it's in libraries. It's in 32 libraries. So like if I'm learning about or reading about the end of productivity right here, going through, and I want to be like, okay, like what does it look like? Okay, like what are some other related ideas to this? I can jump into another article. And so if I click on it, it's going to open up a brand new tab for me. And I have this. Now this, it looks like it's the book. Okay, so that's the book. Let's see what this is. This is, looks like a Substack post. Yeah. Bunch of different things. The other cool thing that I want to show you is if I highlight something like this right here, this one sentence, and I hit Control R, it's going to show me related ideas specifically to what I just highlighted. So it kind of follows you. Sublime follows you where you are with this extension, so that when you are reading through something and you're like, I want to see related ideas to this one idea right here. Maybe not the whole article, but this one idea is something I want to think about. What are some other ideas? What are other people thinking about related to this idea? This will also work too, like if you're in Google Docs or something, or you're the web app version of the note-taking app that you use, Notion, whatever it is, you can be writing, right? And you have an idea that you've written down. You can highlight that, do Control R. As long as you're in like a browser like this, it'll show up for you like that, just like this, which is nice. So it actually can feed your mind so that you can continue to write. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when I said at the beginning of the video that this is a creation-focused app in that way. Let's talk about collections. This is Sublime's way of grouping cards, right? Your ideas and all that. And I love the way that the founder of Sublime kind of looks at collections. It's not about categorizing, it's about like providing almost like gardens for your ideas to live and to grow. Like you're not putting it in a file cabinet where you're never going to see it again, or it's not going to grow and turn into something. It's a garden. So you can make it whatever you want. I have one called the Pantry. And when you create a new collection, you can add a description of that collection. So it's called the Pantry. For me, ideas that I would like to write about. And all these ideas that I've saved, and it could be even a book. I've saved a book or books. I've saved images, text, things from Substack, and it's all saved right here. And as you can see, it's got related ideas to this collection that I can also add. It's almost like you're in Spotify and you created a playlist, and then it gives you like the recommended other songs you can choose. That's kind of what that is right there, down here. So I have one called the Pantry. I have another one called A Life of With, ideas to remind me that life is meant to be lived with others and God. Just, You can literally make it what you want. This is everything that I save in this bucket, this category, this collection is a reminder for me, right? It's not necessarily something that I need to go off and produce. Not everything is about production and creating something. Sometimes you just need to be reminded and pour life back into you, kind of thing. So there it is. Ideas are found in Wonderlands. I created this collection because I was actually thinking about this idea that ideas are found in Wonderland. So I created a collection based on what I was thinking about and writing about, so that I would have a place to store these ideas. So you can use a collection in that way, per project, if you want to call it that. I have another one called The World is Your Thought Garden. This is just ideas that it's an evergreen, it's probably not going to go away, because this is something that I believe that you can learn from anywhere, gain ideas from a bumblebee, all the way to cilantro, all the way to the Bible. I love that I can learn and gain wisdom and ideas from anywhere. So the world is your thought garden. That's the concept. And now I'm adding things to this collection that support that concept. Something else, collections can also be marked as private. And you can pin these to the sidebar, all kinds of stuff. It looks like you can add collaborators as well. So if you have a collection that you're I don't want anybody to know about it except for me, you can mark that whole collection as private, which is nice. All right, let's talk about search, filter, and shuffle. You can use search in Sublime to explore or to find things. Normally you think of search as I'm using search so that I can find something. But with Sublime, you can also use it to explore. So I can type in here, nature is a thinking place. I already have it in there. Nature is a thinking place. And I'm in collections right now, so I'm going to go back to all cards, which is nice, actually, that they kept the search bar. They didn't erase that. Even though I switch between collection and all cards, that's nice. Okay, so I can search this, and it's going to pull up ideas that I've saved. This is something that I have saved myself. It's going to pull up collections. The world is your thought garden. And ideas from other people. Things that I've saved in my library. Right? So I'm not really searching. I'm not trying to find something in this case. I'm trying to survey the land of ideas, and I can go down many different paths. I can click on this idea and then be drawn into this little rabbit trail where I'm looking into these ideas that are related to nature isn't a place to, and then I can go into this idea that I didn't save. It's from somebody else. We can begin to experience nature as a doorway to the sacred, a way to find stillness, silence, and timeless mystery. That's pretty cool. And then it's showing me ideas that are related. So I'm going down a trail within another trail within another trail. It's very cool how you can explore ideas in that way. Here's another thing, creating with God. And this is what I was talking about earlier, how I can see ideas from multiple books that I've read. So this one right here is a book called Called to Create. And this idea I saved a while ago. And then I have another idea from Alan Arnold I think this is from an article. But then I have Bending Time is another book. Right? And then I have another book, Dreaming with God. All these are ideas that I'm not going to see that in Readwise, where I can see all of them at the same time in this context, like I'm doing right now. So it's a way to see one idea, or, to explore ideas from across multiple books, not just looking at, my highlights from one book and scrolling through the highlights. And I enjoy in doing that. I do enjoy doing that, but this is just a whole nother level right here. Well, let's talk about shuffle. Shuffle is a way to kind of just remix and shuffle your ideas. If you're used to any streaming platform for music, you know what shuffling is. The cool thing about shuffle in this app is that it kind of shows up everywhere. Like if you're in a collection, like for example, here's collections. I can shuffle my collections to see it in a different order. If I'm in all cards, I can shuffle all cards to see it in a different order. I can shuffle again. Just show me a random idea. This actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this might be a cool little way to be like, surprise me with a random idea, and then I take the first idea that shows up, like this one, and I say, okay, I'm going to write about this idea, or I'm going to follow this idea and just see where it leads. I'm going to save things that are related to it. I'm going to write my own thoughts about it. You know, I can add a new note right now and start writing about it. I don't know. It's just a cool little feature, shuffle. And then, of course, you can find things, right? So I can search violin, and like a book that I want to read is Ada's Violin. It's actually a picture book, a children's book, but it's a story about the recycled orchestra of Paraguay. You know, I can search a keyword that I know is in that book, and it'll pop right up. And I think it's got smart search as well, where it just will show you things that maybe not are exactly word for word what you typed in, but related to that. For example, I searched violin, but now it's showing me a picture of music, right? So it's got that cool association whenever you search for something. This is the part of the video that I wanted to really show you, but I had to get all the other stuff. I had to show you kind of to give you context of the app before I could show you this. And you've kind of seen it so far. But I want to show you my use case of how this actually happened. And what I'm talking about is related ideas. I think this is what is the game changer, at least for me, and the gap that I was talking about at the beginning of the video of what you can do with this app and how I was missing that in other apps that I use. So imagine you are in a huge mastermind, right? And you add an idea to your library and then share the idea with the group, which means in this case, like you are clicking into an idea, basically. Once you click into an idea, it's like, okay, I've shared this with the group. What do you guys think? And then all of a sudden, all these other ideas come into play. Others are chiming in that are in the mastermind with you. That's kind of how I see it. It's like, you know what? Bill over here is thinking about Awake in the Wild, right? You should check out this book. Like what you just shared right here reminds me of this book. And then somebody else chimes in. You know what? There's a book called The Listening Book. You should check that out. Or somebody else chimes in and says, you know what? It reminds me like what solitude gives you, blah, 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 blah. You know, like it's just a huge mastermind, which is really cool. So I was recently writing on curiosity, and I had a pretty solid atomic essay going, but I wanted to see how I could enhance the idea with other ideas. So I added my atomic note to Sublime. Okay, here it is. So I added my idea, and this is like the entire atomic essay that I added. So it wasn't just a single idea, and I could have done that. I could have started out doing that, but I had already written it, and I was like, hey, I should try Sublime and actually put this in here. So I added the idea and I clicked into the idea because at this point I'm like, okay, I want to share this with the mastermind and I want to know what other people think. Like, what do they think about this? And what are the things that, are going to pop up? All right. So I discovered through this process, 2 other ideas and then a book that I want to read. First off, this book right here, came up for me. Do interesting. Notice collect, share. What's really cool is I have been, for the last couple years, really thinking about this C shape share idea, right? Where I'm seeing ideas, and I'm collecting them, of course, but I'm shaping those into something that is like my version, and then I'm sharing. I have really thought about it at the beginning of this year, and it's so cool because this is something that really resonates with me. I didn't even mean to find it. I was just writing about curiosity, and this pops up, and it's like, wow, this is something I really want to dive into. So I added this to my library, and now it's a book that I want to read, right? And then I found this. It looks like it's a podcast between Ryan Hawk and Paulina Pompliano, and she says, I can't get new ideas staring at a blank page. Creativity for me requires motion. When you go on a walk, you can turn your world into an idea-generating sensorium. Right? And ideas will spring up from the most unlikely sources. There is this one thing that's absolutely certain about creativity. It's an active process, not a passive one. Wow. This right here made its way into my atomic essay. It supported the idea for me of walking in nature, right? Sublime saw that I was talking about walking in nature and presented me with this new idea that I have not seen before, and gave me even like this sentence right here, the idea generating sensorium. When you go on a walk, that's what's happening, which made me think of, when you walk outside, you have all 5 senses that are engaged, which helps you think creatively. And I didn't think about that. I didn't connect those thoughts until I saw this idea. So you can see how powerful this can be whenever you can help just connect ideas. That's more of like colliding. Connect ideas in a way that you haven't connected before. It is helping you think. It is helping you connect ideas. Something else that recently happened, let's see. I was working on a piece on how nature is better than the internet for deep thinking and learning. And I put in an idea. Nature isn't just a place to be, it's a place to think. Nature isn't a place. I'll just search with that. Here it is. I came across this idea. Nature is not a resource. It is a mentor. And I loved that language. Well, I do believe it is a resource. It's not just a resource, right? It is a mentor. A mentor. I like that idea, that language, that picture in my head of trees kind of being mentors, bumblebees being mentors, rabbits being mentors, dandelions being mentors. It's just kind of a cool picture in your head to think like that. All right, let's talk about the Canvas. Canvas is the whiteboard feature where you can actually visually think about your ideas. So I've got a few here that I've already created, but I'm going to create a brand new one, which I think is down here. Yeah, new Canvas. So it asks you to put in a name. Deep thinking. We'll start with that. And I could start with a collection. That's pretty cool. Populate your canvas with cards from a collection. But I'm just going to hit create for now. It's going to open up a new tab for you. And it's got like classic whiteboard stuff. If you've ever dealt with whiteboards, it's got the ability to draw. This is a terrible drawing, but terribly awesome. You got arrows here to connect ideas and all that. You got text, deep thinking. There it is right there. It shows up for you. I can write an idea, and then when I write an idea, I can see related ideas to that. If I click that now, Over here, I have on the right-hand side all these ideas related to deep thinking. The more specific I think, the better. This was just a way to show you an example here where you can now drag these onto the whiteboard. And I have all these things now that I can start messing with, and I can draw connections from this to this. I can draw a connection from this to this, right? You can see, let me move my guy without his eyes. You can see, like, you can start getting really, really visual here with your thinking, and it's really, really cool. And then over here, the left side, I have search. I want to move this back over here. I can now search my library, or I can search all of Sublime. So if I search deep thinking in my library, it's giving me here a collection that I've saved. I was waiting for something extraordinary to happen, but as the years wasted on, nothing ever did unless I caused it. Sure, I'll add that in there. And we got some stuff from Cal Newport. I love this line. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Love it. Love that quote. So you can see, like, there is the related cards feature. I can go into this card and I can click show me related cards to this idea. And now I'm in a completely different rabbit trail. Well, not completely different, but you get what I'm saying. And now I'm on a trail based on this idea. And I can go over here and I can click related cards to this idea. And it's a wild adventure that you can have, but it can be visual, right? Which is nice. Very cool. So overall, let me say that this app will be great for you if you want to have a fun way to save ideas, explore related ideas, and just kind of follow your curiosity. It's a PKM app. It's in that space of personal knowledge management, but it's not like what you would think of when you think of personal knowledge management tools. So if you're into something that's a little bit different, you should definitely try out Sublime. I think it's like a playground for deep thinkers and deep and wide thinkers. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is a very thorough kind of walkthrough, and I hope it was helpful. If you want to check out Sublime, I have the link in the description. Just click that link and you can sign up, check it out. I'll see you on the next video.